A year ago, I started going to Brookhaven shooting range. Some people call it Ridge. I remember the first day I was there, I was told, wow, you should have been here last week. They had demo day. So this year, we were there.
Hey.
What's up, YouTube fam? This past weekend, we had the opportunity to go to a demo day or a range day, whatever you want to call it. It was at Ridge or Brookhaven shooting range, and me, my boy Anthony, and JV Jarvis, and we got to shoot some guns, man. It was fun. They had the whole right-hand side like they usually have, where there is handguns, and on the left-hand side, they were the longer range or the long guns. They even had a 50 BMG Barrett, and we got our hands on that. It was pretty cool. On the far right, we had long guns as well. Anthony and JV really enjoyed shooting that Ruger 308. I didn't get a chance to shoot that. I just kind of like took some video of it. You know how I feel about 308s. That's my jam. So without further ado, I'm going to show some footage about that day, and then we'll come back and wrap it up. Listen, if you guys were there, drop a comment below, and next year we're going to try to put out like some type of early warnings about getting out there. It was a very cold, it was about 45 degrees, maybe 50. We could see everybody's breath. It was cold, your hands were freezing, but it still was a good time, and I'm glad I was there. So we got there around 9 a.m. on Sunday. We didn't go Saturday. I really wanted to go Saturday. I was trying to think more about crowd control, and I figured Sunday would be the more congested day, and we weren't really amped on being in long lines, and we knew it was going to rain on Saturday. The problem was it was supposed to rain on Sunday too. There was a possibility. So we couldn't have gotten there till late on Saturday, so we just opted to go Sunday. But we got there early, and this was the time where I really should have been smart enough to just go ahead with my camera and just go down the line and look at everything, because there was less people there. There still was a good amount of people, but it thickened in terms of the crowd as the day went on, even though it was a chilly day. But the first thing, we did was we went over to the handgun side, and we saw Diamondback arms, we saw Walther, and then I got my eyes on the Pro. I was like, we gotta shoot that thing. But I wasn't even gonna shoot at first, it was Anthony who said, nah, screw this, we're gonna shoot something. So he went and he got a bunch of tickets, because you had to, the way it's set up is that you have all these different vendors there, and they have the ability for you to shoot their guns, and you have to go and get tickets. So for each ticket is 10 rounds. So you go and buy the tickets. I don't even know what the price was for the tickets, but you have 10 rounds per ticket, and you can use as many tickets or buy as many tickets as you want, right? Of course, you had to get cleared to be able to shoot handguns if you had a handgun license. And then they had this Barrett. If you want to shoot the Barrett, you had to buy the bullets. So crazy as Anthony decided he was going to buy a box of 50 cal, and we were just going to go blow those off. That was crazy. Before you come down to the handguns, they had Savior bags, which is cool. I had a Savior bag with my Akira. It came with it. They're high quality bags. Unlike the NRA stuff, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to have a video on how my NRA swag is going today. But let me get back to what I was talking about. So when the first thing I ended up seeing, like I said, was Walther. You had Kimber there. So, you know, in my head, boom, gotta shoot the 2K11. I know that is a hot item right now, and they've really kind of restructured their company around that firearm, and rightfully so. It's a great gun. So I said I gotta get my hands on that. There was Shadow Systems was there. They had HK there. They had CZ there. Of course, they had Glock. Let's see, they had SIG, and once again, that's another gun. I said I have to actually shoot this GTO, the P211, because that one and the Kimber I thought were worthy of being shot, because they are really successful 2011 platforms that are production, you know, so why not? We wanted to shoot that. But what really caught my eye and Anthony's mind was when we saw Cosing. And I know about them and had them on my radar. If you looked at my 2011 rabbit hole, you get to see that Cosing is there. So stopping at the Cosing booth, we got to meet Greg. Shouts out to Greg. He gave us the rundown of some of their new offerings and their handguns, but he also wanted to underline how they work on all types of guns. If you send them guns, they can do the coating to the gun. They can switch out any of the parts that you need to have it operate as efficiently as possible. On display, they had a Gersant match that was done up by their company. Trigger was Red Dirt. They did a grip. I forgot who did the grip. It might have been their grip. It was a nice aluminum grip. He showed us a prototype that they had on a guide rod that was toolless, that was really smart, and I think that we're going to try to have a little bit of video of that. Just gave us a good understanding of, listen, if you need something worked on and it's not from their company or their vault, it's all right, just send it in and they got you. So I got to talk to him, because, you know, I've been working on trying to get my Mac upgraded and elevated, and I think I might do some stuff with that. Most of it I want to do myself, but that was a really good display of what they could do to a gun. Next, we went over to the left-hand side. Like I said, that's what all the long guns were. We were shooting out to, they had the 50, they had 100. I just know that we had a box full of 50 BMGs, so we went over and said, yo, we want to shoot the Barrett. And as you can see right here, we got a couple of shots and videos of JV, Anthony, and myself shooting the Barrett. Gotta tell you, I miss my long range shooting, and I gotta get back to it.
Facial expressions, that was hilarious. Like she popped his fingers and shit. You're good, man. You all right?
So then after that, we decided we were going to actually go and shoot some of the guns over in the handgun side. So the first thing we stopped back at, we saw Greg and said, listen, I want to shoot. They had a Covert edition Quotient handgun that was outfitted by Covert. And you've heard me talk about Covert before. I shot that. That was awesome. And then I wanted to shoot that Gerson. And I shot that, and I really enjoyed shooting that gun. That was a fun gun to shoot. I should have some video of that.
We do some modifications on all these new double stacks.
But this one right here?
That's a Gerson. That's a match.
Oh, that's a Gerson.
They like to get about the customers right away, so they haven't given us our quite another couple of months. See if it's right here, just hold that down and right here.
Hey. Hey.
Oh, that's sweet. I like
Oh,
that.
toolless?
The patented toolless guy.
Yeah.
We call it the Coast Anvil. So all you do is when you just push this back, when you pull it back, you push this.
Yeah, it pops up. That's awesome.
That's spring loaded, so when you take pressure off, drive all the others.
Yeah.
But all our big guns have.
Just so you know.
Really cool. Move it in the center of the.
Let me hold the beast.
Whatever you would like.
Got an island barrel.
Yeah, great.
What grain is this? So we did that, and then we moved on over to Kimber, and the line was too crazy. So we said, screw it, let's go talk to the guy over at Walther. So, you know, I love my PDP. First handgun that I actually had. So when we got to him, they had a pro that I wanted to see. So I got to shoot the pro. It was comped, and the trigger was cool. I felt the difference between that trigger and my trigger. I enjoyed shooting that gun. It was cool. I think Anthony shot that as well.
Hey. Hey.
And then we went back over to the GTO line, or the SIG line, because I had to get my hands on that P211. So, shooting the P211, that gun, I really enjoyed the way it returns to zero. It turns to zero really nicely. Now, Anthony pointed out something to me after he shot it. He liked it, but he thought the slide was a little sluggish, which was interesting to me because I'm not a fast shooter like him. So, that was something that you should be aware of if you are someone who wants to have quick return shots. To me, it didn't bother me, and I loved the weight of the gun. It brought it right back to where I was shooting, and I just carried through with my shots, and they were in the same spot. Boom, boom, boom. And, I wasn't slow, but I wasn't super fast either. So after that, we went over to Kimber. The line finally slowed down, and I said, listen, I want to shoot that 2K11. And I shot that. I honestly understand why that gun is taking off the way it is. It is a production 2011, and the price will not kill you. So I did like the way the P211 shot better, but Anthony liked the way the Kimber shot better because he said, once again, the slide was faster, and he could see like getting on that gun and actually really performing well. So that's our little review of those two guns. Then we ran over to the Ruger side, and they had a nice 308. And that 308, my man JV and Anthony both shot, and they both loved it. I see this summer we're going to be doing a lot of cool precision shooting, and I'm all up for that because that's what I've been doing for years. So I think that'll be fun. All in all, man, what a good time. We talked for a minute after we finished shooting, and we just kind of observed everything that was going on. And it was a good time. And next year, I got to make sure that we go. Maybe I'll go with a couple of cameras. I definitely am going to pan around the whole... definitely going to pan around the whole show to try to get as many shots of each booth as I can. Maybe even talk a little bit more with the representatives from those respective companies. I love you guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys actually went to demo day this year at Ridge or Brookhaven shooting range, and let me know what you guys shot. Alright? Once again, I'd like to wish you guys all peace. And I'll talk to y'all next time.